So let us look at some questions in general organic chemistry. Our question number 1, which has all types of hybrid carbons. Carbon can be either sp3, sp2 or sp hybridized. If I look at this compound, it is called 1,3-butadiene. All these carbons are sp2 hybridized. So only one type of hybridization is there in this compound, 1,3-butadiene. This compound 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons it has. So it is but-2-ine carbocation because it has plus charge. Whenever there is a C plus, the carbon is sp2 hybridized. The triply bonded carbon is sp hybridized. Even this carbon is sp hybridized. The last carbon, it is making only single bond and it is sp3 hybridized. Can you see its structure once again? It is CH3, C triple bond C, CH2 plus. It is a carbocation, but-2-ine carbocation. If you are looking at this compound, this is having CH2 double bond C double bond CH2, a lean. It is IUPAC name prop-1,2-diene. This carbon is sp2 hybridized. This carbon is sp hybridized. And the first carbon is sp2. It has only two types of hybridized carbons. The question is all types of hybridized carbons, they are there only in this. That is but-2-ine carbocation. A compound empirical formula is CH2O. It has a vapor density of 30. What is its molecular formula? Empirical formula, weight you can compute 12 plus 2 plus 16 as 30. You know that vapor density into 2 is always equal to molecular weight. For any gaseous compound, vapor density into 2 corresponds to molecular weight. In this case, molecular weight must be 2 into 30, 60. Now, if you divide the molecular weight with empirical formula weight, you get n factor. Here it is 2. Empirical formula into n factor will give you molecular formula. So, molecular formula of this compound is C2H4O2. Now, let us look at next question. A hydrocarbon has 80% carbon. What is its empirical formula? If it has 80% carbon, if it is a hydrocarbon, it must have 20% hydrogen. Therefore, divide the percentage with atomic weight of corresponding element, 80 by 12, 20 by 1. 20 by 3 is to 20 by 1. It means it is 20 is to 60 ratio. So 1 is to 3 is the ratio of atoms it has. Empirical formula is CH3. That is a standard problem. Let us look at next question. If two compounds A and B, percentage composition is same, and the percentage of carbon is given as 12 by 13 into 100. Percentage of hydrogen is given as 1 by 13 into 100. And they state that A decolorizes bromine and B does not decolorize bromine. So, what are A and B? First of all, from the data of the percentage of carbon and hydrogen, let us try to find the ratio of carbon and hydrogen. See, 12 by 13 into 100 is the percentage of carbon divided with atomic weight of carbon. Similarly, 1 by 13 into 100 is percentage of hydrogen divided with 1 atomic weight of hydrogen. Now you are getting 100 by 13 is to 100 by 13. That is the ratio of atoms of carbon and hydrogen. That is, they are in 1:1 ratio. So, empirical formula of this compound is CH. Now, empirical formula of compound CH is there for C2H2, which is acetylene. Acetylene means HC triple bond CH, ethyne. And the C2H4 empirical formula is CH2, it is ethene. It is not having CH empirical formula. Our rule is both compounds should have same empirical formula, so option A is not the answer. Option 2, C2H2 has empirical formula CH, very good. C6H6 benzene also has empirical formula CH. And we know that any compound that has a double bond or a triple bond open chain compound can definitely decolorize bromine. Exceptionally, though benzene C6H6 has double bonds, it would not decolorize bromine because the double bonds are not free, they are involved in delocalization in benzene. It is a fact. Compound called benzene, whose formula is C6H6, has 3 double bonds, but the double bonds are delocalized to give what is called aromaticity, which you learn in the lesson called benzene. So as a rule, you can understand benzene is a compound that has 3 double bonds, but it would never decolorize bromine like any other simple compound that has double bond or triple bond. This is due to a property called aromaticity. So answer to this question, two compounds A and B which have same percentage of carbon and hydrogen, whose empirical formula is CH. One that decolorizes bromine must be acetylene or ethyne C2H2. The other fellow which cannot decolorize bromine must be benzene. So that is the answer. Now let us look at some integer type questions. CCl4 carbon tetrachloride strongly heated with AgNO3. How many moles of AgCl is produced? Kindly notice CCl4 is a covalent compound. Only ionic compounds which give Na plus Cl minus, for example, sodium chloride, calcium chloride. Ionic compounds can give Cl minus ions. Anything that can give Cl minus ion can give AgCl as white precipitate. Unfortunately, carbon tetrachloride, which is an organic compound, covalent compound, cannot give Cl minus ions, would not give any precipitate directly on adding AgNO3. If you want to have AgCl precipitate, first you should make sodium extract in Lessine test. Then that sodium extract on adding AgNO3 may give AgCl as a precipitate, because when you are heating with sodium, CCl4 is converted into NaCl ionic compound. As such, covalent compounds, organic compounds, though they may have Cl, they cannot give white precipitate with AgNO3. Only ionic compounds can give. So you get 0 moles of AgCl. Next question. 0.2 grams of organic compound on combustion gave 0.18 grams of water. What is the percentage of hydrogen? You have a direct formula. Whenever any compound gives H2O, you know H2O has 2 grams of hydrogen for every 18 grams of water. So 2 by 18 into weight of H2O you got, divided by weight of organic compound into 100. 10 is the percentage of carbon. Next question is based on Jaldal method, where the nitrogen of any organic compound is converted to ammonia. Ammonia is treated with excess of acid, and now acid left unreacted is back titrated with NaOH to find the actual milliequivalence of ammonia that released. From that we can calculate the percentage of nitrogen. A simple method. So let us look at the problem. 0.303 grams of organic compound is subjected to Jaldal method. Ammonia evolved absorbed 50 ml of 0.05 molar H2SO4. This is excess. So excess of acid that could not be neutralized by ammonia. Excess required 25 ml of 0.1 molar NaOH for neutralization. What is the percentage of nitrogen? To solve this problem, I tell you a simple method. Whenever they give molarity and volume of excess acid taken, convert the molarity into normality by multiplying with 2, because H2SO4 can give 2H plus per molecule, so its N factor or basicity is 2. Therefore, molarity into 2 will give normality. Normality into volume of acid gives total millimoles of acid, total milliequivalence of acid taken. So total milliequivalence of acid taken is 50 into 0.05 into 2. That is equal to 5 milliequivalence. You have taken 5 milliequivalence of acid, that is excess. Whatever the acid that got neutralized by ammonia got neutralized. Now excess acid left out, that required 25 ml of 0.1 molar NaOH for neutralization. For NaOH, N factor or acidity is equal to 1. So to convert molarity of NaOH into normality, simply multiply with 1. So milliequivalence of NaOH required was 25 into 0.1 into 1. That is 2.5 milliequivalents of base required. I have taken 5 milliequivalents of acid and 2.5 milliequivalents of base needed to neutralize excess. It means out of 5 milliequivalents, 2.5 milliequivalents was left. It means that 2.5 milliequivalents was used by ammonia. Hence, the number of milliequivalents of ammonia released is total milliequivalents of acid taken minus milliequivalents of base used in neutralization. 5 minus 2.5. To know the percentage of nitrogen, formula is 1.4 into milliequivalents of ammonia released divided by weight of organic compound. If I adopt this procedure, I get answer as 11.5%. Can you see that? So what is the formula, sir? 1.4 into milliequivalents of ammonia released, that is equal to total milliequivalents of acid you have taken minus milliequivalents of base required for neutralizing excess. That divided by weight of organic compound will give percentage. If you try this similar problem for practice, you will get clarity. 0.5 grams of organic compound in Jaldal method released ammonia that absorbed in 50 ml of 0.5 molar H2SO4. Now, due to neutralization, some acid is left. The residual acid left after neutralization needed 60 centimeter cube of 0.5 molar NaOH. 60 centimeter cube means 60 ml. What is the percentage of nitrogen? Exactly same. Milliequivalence of H2SO4 is 50 into 0.5 into 2. Milliequivalence of base needed to neutralize left out, 60 into 0.5 into 1. So total acid taken is 50 into 0.5 into 2, that is equal to 50 milliequivalents. Left out acid requires 60 into 0.5 into 1, that is 30 milliequivalents. So ammonia released equal to 50 minus 30, 20 milliequivalents. 1.4 into 50 minus 30 by 0.5. So this is the way to calculate percentage of nitrogen in Jaldal method. Hope you understood. If you have not, read the lesson once again. Thank you.